Watch this corruption that's so brazen, even Trump's allies are turning against him.
Tonight, as President Trump begins his 3-day visit to the Middle East, he says he's preparing to accept a super luxury jumbo jet from the royal family of Qatar to use as the new Air Force One.
I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I appreciate it very much. I would never be one to turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person.
Could be our country's leader, the guy who won the election by mobilizing the populist vote. President Donald Drain the Swamp Trump is planning to accept a $400 million jumbo jet. I don't want to call it a bribe, but it is a bribe. I will call it that just for the sole reason that it is one. From Qatar, the country Qatar. Yeah, and while this donation isn't finalized yet, Trump himself is rejecting claims that this is corruption by saying this.
I could be a stupid person to say, oh, no, we don't want a free plane. We give free things out. We'll take one, too. And it helps us out.
Define us in this scenario. I think you're confusing us with you. Why do I say this? Because after this plane gets used as Air Force One, it goes to Donald Trump's presidential library, which, judging by how much this guy probably reads, he's gonna fly it around himself. He puts his name on planes and flies them around. That's what he does. But I love the reasoning.
What do you say to people who view that luxury jet as a personal gift to you? Why not leave it behind?
You're ABC fake news, right?
Why not?
It's only ABC. Well, a few of you would. Let me tell you, you should be embarrassed asking that question. They're giving us a free jet. I could say, no, don't give us. I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much.
You know what you could say? What the Constitution tells you to say, which is, I cannot accept gifts from foreign leaders. Because of course you can't. And he says he's not a stupid person. But like, dude, Politico is reporting that this is not much of a gift for the American taxpayer. The Qatari Defense Ministry is talking to the White House about transferring the jet to the Pentagon, which would oversee its retrofitting into a makeshift Air Force One, but a private contractor would have to rip it apart to turn the jet into a flying White House for the president with secure communications and classified upgrades, according to former Air Force officials and lawmakers, an expensive and complicated prospect that would cost taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. Come on. Like, can you imagine the Qataris handing this over and being like, dude, yes, don't pay attention to the microphones. Those are not microphones. Those are fuzzy trophies. And the cameras, that's just art installation to say that you are the best on camera. And why are we getting a Boeing 747 from Qatar anyways? Boeing is based in Seattle. Why don't you just order one from them that you wouldn't have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to tear apart and put back together? But you know what? I've never been in a position to accept a $400 million gift. That is not relatable. Maybe if you had some kind of comparison that was relatable to everyday, normal, average Joes, like, say, a 70-year-old golfing reference.
You know, there was an old golfer named Sam Snead. Did you ever hear of him? He won 82 tournaments. He was a great golfer. And he had a motto: when they give you a putt, you say, thank you very much. You pick up your ball and you walk to the next hole. A lot of people are stupid. They say, no, I insist on putting it. And then they putt it and they miss it. And their partner gets angry at them. You know what? Remember that, Sam Snead. When they give you a putt, you pick it up and you walk to the next hole and you say, thank you very much.
That statement is so perfectly Trumpy because not only is it so detached from most people's experience, but he's also wrong about the rule in golf. According to this Golf Digest article, a concession is final and cannot be declined or withdrawn. So, not only does Donald Trump seem to cheat at the Constitution, but he also seems to cheat at golf. And don't just take my word for it. Here is a bunch of right-wing commentators and politicians who, even for them, this is a bridge too far.
I'm not a fan of Qatar. I also think that the plane poses significant espionage and surveillance problems. So we'll see how this issue plays out. But I certainly have concerns.
Taking sacks of goodies from people who support Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood, Al Jazeera, all the rest. That's not America first. Like, please define America first in a way that says you should take sacks of cash from the Qatari royals who are behind Al Jazeera. If you want President Trump's agenda to succeed, taking jets from Qatar is not the way. Taking real estate deals from Qatar is not the way. The largest obstacle to any administration is scandal.
I do think the jet probably sends the wrong signal to people, and I don't like the look or appearance of it, so I would hope that he would reject it. The Constitution specifically says you can't take gifts from foreign leaders.
I don't like it. There's a reason that people can't even buy me a steak dinner. It's not necessarily that you can prove that I've got an ethical problem. It's that the appearance of it doesn't look great.
Obviously, we don't want to be straight up accepting any type of gift from any foreign government, certainly not, one that can be viewed in a way that obviously has been presented here.
At the end there, I love how Fox is like, he's talking trash about Trump. Play him off. Play him off.
In a way that obviously has been presented here.
Do you have any idea how corrupt you have to be for people like Ted Cruz to call you corrupt? I mean, I guess we have our answer. You have to be Free Jet from the Qatari royal family corrupt. It's so sad that you can't even find a recognizable name to defend Trump on this issue. One of the few I could find was Ryan Zinke, a Republican on the Foreign Affairs Committee. And his defense is hilarious.
I don't think it's a personal gift. I think it's government to government.
But is that a workaround? Because he said it's going to go to the Trump Presidential Library after.
Well, we'll see where it goes.
So what do you think, though? Are you for it, against it? Where do you stand? Do you have any ethics concerns or constitutional concerns?
I think she could have stopped after saying, do you have any ethics?
I'm glad Pam Bondi stepped in and looked at it from a legal point of view.
Oh, that's right, Pam Bondi. So I guess there is a recognizable name. But Pam Bondi is not a defense against corruption. She is synonymous with corruption. If you haven't read this story from Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, it is a must read. It explains why Pam Bondi is the Attorney General, and it is steeped in so much provable corruption, it makes you sick. It says that in March 2016, they discovered that the Trump Foundation had broken the law by giving an illegal $25,000 contribution to a political group supporting Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi. These foundations, like the Trump Foundation, are not allowed to engage in politics. Even more problematic was the fact that the contribution was given as Bondi's office was deciding whether to take legal action related to Trump University. This would set off an investigation which would lead to one of the biggest stories of the year. They have a whole timeline that basically says that the Office of the Attorney General received 22 complaints, at least on Trump University, the Trump Institute, and related entities. They confirmed to the Orlando Sentinel, yes, we are absolutely looking into these allegations. Then Trump gives $25,000 to a group called And Justice for All, which is a political group backing Bondi. The donation, which is illegal for that kind of foundation to give, was personally solicited by Bondi from Trump. So she was looking into him, as the story goes, and then was like, you know what would possibly, maybe you should give some money to And Justice for All. And then, won't you know it, they start saying stuff like, in light of the fact that we've only gotten one consumer complaint 2.5 years ago, there's no reason to investigate at this time. But then people start looking into it and they're like, bro, you absolutely confirmed to us that you received 22 complaints. Then in 2014, on its 2013 taxes, the Trump Foundation claims that it made no donations to political entities and replaces And Justice for All with a different, similarly named group in Kansas to which they would legally be allowed to donate. And then they finally admit the donation, blaming an increasing series of clerical errors when, dude, let's be honest, she was looking into you. You gave her $25,000 and she stopped investigating you, signifying that she would absolutely play ball, and thus she would be a non-Jeff Sessions, like, no qualms about corruption, Attorney General. And that dynamic plays out before our very eyes in this scenario, as NBC News reports that a senior Justice Department official told them that the DOJ's Office of Legal Counsel prepared a memo approved by Attorney General Pam Bondi, which cleared the legality of the Department of Defense accepting the gift of the 747 from Qatar, designed to be used as Air Force One, and then, here's the kicker, intended to be gifted to Trump after he leaves office. So Pam Bondi, who stopped investigating Donald Trump when she got $25,000, is now the Attorney General, and she's just waving a pen saying, yeah, gifts from foreign entities and heads of state to the President of the United States are totally cool because I said so and I'm the Attorney General, full stop. Well, sadly, you have to be answerable to the Constitution of the United States, and here is Caitlin Caitlin Collins from CNN telling another no-name representative Trump sycophant exactly which part of the Constitution Trump is violating.
If you read the emoluments clause, it says no person holding any office shall, without the consent of Congress, except of any present of any kind, whatever, from any king, prince, or foreign state.
You're the reporter. Could you tell me if every gift we ever received from the Middle East has been voted on? Because I don't remember that at all. So I'm just asking
I'm saying this is the emoluments
general
clause.
purposes.
I mean, typically presidents are not supposed to accept gifts from foreign leaders.
But I know we have, though, historically, we've accepted gifts from all over the world. The question is there a monetary value on that? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
There are so many reasons why this is a horrible defense. First, you might not be a lawyer, but you write the laws as a congressperson, so you are, I guess, a lawer. And two, as a lawer, you did swear an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, of which the emoluments clause is a part. Why else would Caitlin Collins break out the sepia tone fancy fonts if it wasn't for a Constitution graphic? And I hate to harp on this, but you also did say that you do take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and my God, man, you evaded the shit out of that question. And as to the point of yes, America has accepted gifts from other countries, there's a difference between the Statue of Liberty and a custom 747 jumbo jet that you get to fly around in after you leave office whenever you want. The French gave us the Statue of Liberty as a monument, not so we could turn into Grover Cleveland's private sex den. But here's the problem. This is not the only example of Donald Trump using the White House to make himself richer.
This first 100 days of the Trump administration will go down in history as the greatest grift in the history of our economy. Trump-affiliated entities have made at least $300 million in trading fees. The Trump family's net worth has increased by $3 billion, or $1 billion a month since he took office.
And I don't even think that's counting this new plane. It's mostly counting his crypto schemes.
Trump's companies have been selling several different kinds of crypto coins. They are rife with self-dealing and insider trading. Trump has made at least $350 million from this meme coin so far. He plans to sell as many as 800 million more of these coins. In effect, Trump is a pay-to-play scheme that allows his biggest buyers in his coin to meet him in person and potentially influence him. And even possibly foreign nationals may see this as a way to bribe the president.
One of these companies, World Liberty Financial, run by Don Jr., and the other one, seems to be quite deeply, explicitly corrupt, as Scott Galloway has done a really good job of reporting.
And they are entitled to 75% of its revenue. And now it's being leveraged to facilitate pardons for criminals. Justin Sun, a crypto billionaire, was under SEC investigation for securities fraud after investing $75 million in World Liberty Financial. Guess what, Kara? The SEC dismissed his case.
The irony is not lost on me or any of us, as people on the right were all talking about how Hunter Biden is the most corrupt human being on the planet because he got $5 million or something for a Ukraine job. Meanwhile, Tweedledee and Tweedledumbass over here get paid $75 million, and suddenly entire SEC investigations magically evaporate. And there's no end in sight, because when it comes to corruption, Trump doesn't half-ass anything, which is saying something, mostly because he's got a giant ass. So half of his ass is bigger than a normal ass. Anyways, this is what he's doing to the fraud investigation department.
This market manipulation, this what would technically be called insider trading by the SEC, we'll never know, because on April 8th, Trump's deputy attorney general ordered the DOJ's crypto fraud investigation arm to disband.
With the president, the corruption never ends, and he disbands the investigation arm, so we can't even find out how to end it. And what even known corrupt presidents like Nixon would have avoided with a 10-foot pole, Donald Trump is like, yes, thank you so much for this airplane, and thank you very much, Pam Bondi, for telling me it's totally fine. This is nowhere near what the founders of this country intended. And to paraphrase Paul Pena, not Steve Miller, big old jet airliner, don't carry me too far away from the Constitution. Look up, you gotta listen to that. It's on YouTube. It's a much better version of the song. Paul Pena, jet airliner. That's my time.